Hello. The weather outside is piss, so discussion video. Hi everybody, how are you? Hope you're well. Forgive the extremely extra nasally sound today. I'm gummed up. I don't know if it's a cold or hay fever, but either way, I've basically used an entire forest's worth of loo paper in the last couple of days. Right, a couple of years ago or so ago, I'm keeping that, I did a video talking about have you ever regretted buying a certain RC car? And maybe it was an RC car that you had expectations for and it just fell way below expectations. Or maybe it was a car that was extremely expensive and didn't justify the cost. Whatever it was. And we had lots of back and forth, a lot of people commenting. And yeah, it was interesting. Well, today I wanted to do the opposite. You ever had an RC car that utterly exceeded your expectations and pleasantly surprised you? Now, I want long-term subscribers to my channel, people who are familiar with my fleet, to try and take a guess here. Anything you've got in mind? Because I've got a certain one in mind as well. Have you placed your bets? This is the Pasher Pitbull. Basically, this machine, this little one, I think it's 1/18th, it's sold under a few different brands. Ripmax sell their version, High Moto sell their version, and Maverick sell their version. And this is the Basher version. It's all the same car, slightly different colour scheme, and sometimes they have slightly different electronics in them. This is by far and away the cheapest. The High Moto and the Ripmax are around about £60. The Maverick was £85. This car, with a brushless system fitted and a 2S LiPo included, ready to run, was £28.30, which was frankly the best value RC car I've ever come across, possibly of all time. It's ridiculous. It wasn't perfect. I've upgraded. These are the sort of gold plated shocks from the Maverick, but they're identical spec wise and material wise to the standard silver ones that came with it. The reason I fitted the gold parts is because Matthew got exactly the same car as me and we wanted to differentiate them slightly, so I got the gold things, gold drive shafts you see there, and gold shock absorbers. Yeah, I mean this thing, it's mechanically, even if it's not, it's got the gold bits, but it's mechanically standard. £28.30, it goes like stink. They go really well, extremely quick for the size. I mean, obviously if this was a 1/8 or a 1/10 scale, doing only 20 miles an hour, it looks slow, but because of the scale speed, it looks awesome. But it's not perfect. It rolls over all the time. Little skinny tires, little skinny, lightweight, and not very much track width. But the biggest problem with it is the lack of damping. The shock absorbers don't seal. The shock absorbers are terrible. They don't seal. So I've serviced them a few times. You fill them up with oil, and then you put it on the shelf, and even before you use it, by the time you've got around to using it again, all the oil's pissed out the bottom of the shocks, so there's no damping at all. I mean, this is a £28.30 car with no damping on it. It's not exactly the end of the world. It just could help because it rattles around a lot because, you know, little pebbles and it seem enormous in comparison. But this car does not get my nod as the car that surprised me or exceeded my expectations, because the preview video, the sort of trailer for this car, released by Hobby King, was not full with, you know, a lot of trailers have got the sort of fancy flashy visual effects and slow motion and funny angles and everything. There was very little of that. It was all just running video, and the running video made this look really good. And I expected it to be really good, and it was good. It's a good laugh, and it was cheap, and I would sell it, really. I would consider selling it. I don't very much use it, or I don't use it very much, rather. But I'm not one of, you see people on eBay going, oh, I'm selling a used Basher Pitbull, amazing value, £50 or £60. because you can't get them anymore and there's no one to say. I wouldn't do that because it's £28.30 when it was new. You see that whenever you see this one on eBay, they're usually getting sold used for more than twice what people paid because it still seems really good value. I'm getting off track here. This is not what I'm here to talk about, but the point is there's no point in me selling it because the used price of this should be less than £20, and what's the point in selling it for £20? I mean, Matthew's got one as well, and occasionally we can have a good laugh with them. But it only gets an honourable mention because I expected it to be good, and it was good. And the little flaws it has, the tendency to roll over and the lack of damping, which makes it worse, can kind of kill the fun sometimes. So, yes, not the one I'm chosen. The one I have chosen, oh yes, the Mad Rat. Did anyone guess the Mad Rat? You should have done. In fact, if you haven't, you're probably sitting there going, oh yeah, the Mad Rat. Yeah, this car utterly exceeded my expectations. I really adore the Mad Rat. It's not my very favourite basher, but it's certainly one of them. And it's ever reliable, and I can just go back to it and you go, oh, that's broken, oh, this one's bust, oh, this one needs a new radio. It's okay, I can use the Mad Rat, it's working, because that's just how it is. This isn't standard anymore. I've used the X2 Pro kit. Well, basically they sold the X2 Pro, which was a Mad Rat for competition use, so it had the adjustable turnbuckles you see there, and it had slightly different compound of the plastics. I can't remember what they called it, but it was a slightly different plastic. It was lighter, probably was lighter. But anyway, I upgraded the Mad Rat to the X2 Pro because I found the kit for really cheap, so I decided to do that. And also these are not the standard shocks. Now this, I'm not going to say this is never broken, because it has broken. So yes, it's broken before, but it has never failed. This car has never failed. I've owned it for, I don't know, probably 10 years. Maybe not quite, but it won't be far off, 10 years now. Say 8 to be safe, but I think it's probably more than that. It's never failed. I've never ever had a gear fail, a diff fail. I've never had to rebuild the gear. I mean, I have rebuilt the gearbox for the sake of maintenance and re-greased it and all the rest of it. And I've actually put Kevlar reinforced gears in it just for the sake of longevity. Longevity, that's the word. But I never had to. The gears were still in perfectly working order. It's now running a brushless system, Gould RC brushless system, 3900 kV. I run it on 2-cell LiPo. Yes, so it's not standard, doesn't have the standard powertrain, but even with the standard brushed motor that came with it, this thing went really well. The Mad Rat had no flaws. That was the thing about it. I've never ever looked at it and said, I wish this, I wish that, I like the Mad Rat but this. There was no buts, there was no anything like that. The Proline Dirt Hogs on it are rubbish. The only Proline product I've ever used I don't like, but these are not the standard wheels and tyres. The standard wheels and tyres on it were absolutely fine. The standard brushed power system was fine, it went really well. It wasn't setting the world on fire, but no, this was a £100 ready to run 1/10 scale buggy. I mean, the Comet, the FTX Comet that I've recently upgraded, you may have seen that, started life at £70, way inferior to what this was at 100. And then the FTX Comet completely unleashed, you know, the way you may have seen the video, if you've seen it, I won't go into too much detail, but basically the FTX Comet is now where it should have been when it was new, and it's probably cost about £150 all in, roughly, so 50% more expensive than this was. And it's still not as good as what this was when it was standard. Nowhere close to it. This has it's got the better handling, better stance, better build quality, better fitment of fit and finish, you know, tighter tolerances, etc. Just this thing, I must say, put it this way. My Lossy XXS, my favourite RC, is incredible, right? But I knew it was going to be because it was the best 1/10 scale touring car in the world at the time, which is why I asked for that for Christmas specifically. I knew it was going to be brilliant, and it was. The Proline Pro MT, where is it? Oh, it's up there now. It's up there behind me, up in the mezzanine. Proline Pro MT is brilliant, but I knew it was going to be brilliant. Everybody said it was brilliant. All the reviews said it was brilliant. No surprises, it's brilliant. This, I bought it because Alan, Tay Models, previously this was Tay Racers, this was before Tay Models even existed. Alan said, if I bought this, Callum and I can have a free ice cream. You can tell I kind of wanted it anyway, yeah. That was enough to tip the scales. Give us a free ice cream and I'll buy this for £100, and I did. Don't regret it at all. Fantastic buggy, really brilliant, and yeah, the most flaw-free RC I've ever owned, and from a company that doesn't even exist anymore. It became the Team Jekyll, but Ansman don't exist anymore. But I think the Mad Rat was the best product they ever made. It was the most honest, it was one of the cheapest, it was one of the simplest, but it was just that guy that never lets you down. It's that friend who you can always turn to. Mad Rat. Yeah. No RC has surprised me as pleasantly as this. No RC has exceeded my expectations as much as this has. I really love the Mad Rat. But what's yours? What RC have you had that completely blew your mind and thought, this is so much better than I thought it was going to be? Let me know in the comments. Or maybe you bought something that was very, very expensive and knew it was going to be great and turned out to be even better than that. Super great even. Excellent. Fantastic. Let me know. I'd like to hear it. And that's it for me. Take care of yourselves. We'll catch you soon. See you later.